Hello, my Jedi friends. In today's video, I discuss, are we living in a global lunatic asylum? A global lunatic asylum. Because the way the world's going, especially if you're living here in the UK, you will realize that crazy things are starting to happen right now that seem that the lunatics have taken over the asylum. And funnily enough, from somebody who did grow up in a lunatic asylum, I used to tell people that the world is a lunatic asylum. My parents were both psychiatric nurses. I was in the grounds of a psychiatric hospital growing up. And when I used to go to school, I used to be one of the lunatics on day release, according to the other kids. And I used to tell them, well, actually, you're calling me a lunatic. I think they're letting me out into the bigger asylum, which is the planet. That was my defense mechanism, and it's proved to be quite prophetic as I get older. Stuff I've been saying all my life, my Jedi friends, that we live in a lunatic asylum. We live in an asylum. So, some of you will know this, my regulars will know some of this, maybe. I've said for many, 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 many years that if you look at how a lunatic asylum was run or a psychiatric hospital, oh, it's not politically correct. Well, that's the least of my crimes in today's day and age, folks. So free speech may be on the way out, folks. So I'm going to make the most of it while I can, while I still can before I get banned. And in a lunatic asylum, if anyone showed any desire to do harm to themselves or other people, then they were sectioned, which means they were locked up. They were electrocuted, ECT, or they were drugged, or all three, a combination of all three. That was a way of dealing with lunatics. Drug them, lock them up, or electrocute them. If they were going to do any harm to themselves or other people. And look at that profile now, folks. If you're not prepared to do harm to other people, then you probably shouldn't be a global leader. Global leaders, they take us to war. Take us to war, folks, my Jedi friends. And these people are running the asylum. They have a bad argument, they fall out with someone, they can't agree, and everyone else has to go to war. So let me just ask this, folks, surely, if that is the case, would it not de-incentivize things slightly if the person that negotiated the war had to lead the charge to the enemy territory? I wonder how keen they'd be to negotiate those wars. But anyway, that's part of my perspective on whether we live in a lunatic asylum or not. Someone else negotiates the war and everyone else has to die for it. Well, that's just part of it. And I know there's nuance, there's shades of grey, there's people doing awful things over the world. Still slavery going on, especially in Africa right now. And there's thought slavery. People, we're all in some way slaves to an environment. And it seems to be getting worse, my Jedi friends, when even freedoms like speech are now being curtailed very, very quickly here in the UK. And it has just been ruled, it's just been voted as well, that even bar staff now can get offended by the wrong conversations and report people to the police. So you're not even safe in one of the institutions that has been like a bastion of free speech here in the UK. These things, these little rights are being stripped away from us. Stripped away, folks, one thing at a time. We're watching it. We're all sitting in the backwash. We're all sort of looking back from the bandstand thinking this can't be happening. This cannot be real, folks. It cannot be real. But we are in a lunatic asylum, folks. And the lunatics are running the asylum. You only need to look at the world and the way that it's going down right now to realize that that is the case. That is the case. Are they representative of the people? Are they representing what the people want? Absolutely not. Unless, of course, you're looking to get in the country illegally, then in that case, you probably will be supporting the changes. But anyway, I don't want to get into a political debate here, folks. That is not what it's about. As you know, on this channel, we talk about energy. We talk about energy, and people that are sensitive to energy will be feeling depressed right now. Will be feeling depressed on multiple different counts. Count one, the vibration of the planet is raising. And what does that mean for someone that's sensitive to energy, it means that highly sensitive people, light workers, star children, call it what you want, folks, different strokes for different folks, different names, star seeds, light workers, whatever it is, have been slumbering and have been asleep for way too long now. And what this means is that with the vibrational rays, it's causing disruption in the lives of people that need to step up so that they wake up to the bigger purpose of being here. Now, the bigger purpose of being here is to raise the vibration of the planet. What does that mean, Adam? What does that mean? Yes, everyone talks about raised vibration. It's about facilitating a sustainable planet, folks, simply. Simply, it's about stopping the lunacy, waking up, saying no to all of the things that are wrong in the world now, and letting the light in and stop all this madness that's happening around us, which everyone will be noticing, everyone will be feeling. Some people are bought into it. Some people see that the way of the world, and other people are like, what can little old me do about it? Well, little old you can do something by waking up. And the wake up process happens by firstly disrupting you out of your own comfort zone. Out of your comfort zone, my Jedi friends. There you were, minding your own business, living the normal life, whatever normal happens to be. Or maybe you were leading a very abnormal life. My life has certainly been abnormal and would not be down to what other people would would expect. What I've been told to do has been a high risk and fairly traumatic and fun ride all at the same time, folks. All at the same time. Now, is it going to get more challenging? Quite likely. That's just the rigors of getting older, folks. We're not as young, not as fit, not as agile as we used to be. There's going to be health issues that you're going to have to face as you go along. And frankly, from someone that worked at the front line of the care service for way too long, for over 13 years, at the front line, I have seen what happens when people get older. I've seen the challenges that come when people get older and when dis-ease sets in, folks. So this is a big part of it. And this is why I ended up training in energy and now teaching it. Because energy is a mindset, energy is an attitude. And we cannot control. You've probably heard this before. You can't control stuff outside of your awareness. You have to be aware of what is happening, what's triggering you, what you can control and what you can't. Now, most people spend most of their time focusing here, getting upset about things that they can't control. You can't control lots of different things. You can't control like global wars unless you're right at the very top of the leadership of a country that's involved in it. You're not going to be able to control that, folks. You're not going to be able to control things like lockdowns or sudden virus outbreaks or vaccine mandates or things like this. There's a lot that you can't control, my Jedi friends, a lot that you can't control. But what you can control is your own thoughts, how you respond, your response ability, folks. That is what you can control, your mindset, where you go with that, how it affects you, how it takes you, and how you influence the people around you. Because that's what energy is about, and that's what it is. That's where it's at. So whether the world is a lunatic asylum or not, that was just a bit of clickbaity title for the video, and very from my own personal background, it's something that I've been saying all my life. Um, I always usually admit I start my speeches when I've given talks. I have got a confession. I spent 17 years in a lunatic asylum. And that's true, folks. I had psychiatric patients knocking on my door as I grew up. That was a normal environment for me growing up in that. And yet, that was one of the safest places that I've ever lived. Safest places, lunatic asylum, for the simple reason that any really terrible lunatics that are going to do damage to themselves or others get sedated, sectioned, or electrocuted, or a combination of all three, folks. So I've been saying for years that we live in a lunatic asylum. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it's saner than you think. Maybe I'm not giving it a fair shot. I don't really care what anyone else thinks. And this is part of the journey too, folks. Taking responsibility for our own thoughts and feelings. And for people that are sensitive to energy, it's all too easy to be affected by other people's opinions. And it's usually the wrong ones. It's usually assholes that affect us, like narcissists or people that shout the loudest, get the most attention. And isn't that the way in a lot of things in life, my Jedi friends? So this video is really an invitation for you to wake up and take control of your own thoughts. Whether you think the world is lunatic or not, it doesn't matter, because that's something that you may not be able to influence right now. But what you can influence is your own mind, your own energy, your own thoughts, and what you give off. Because only by staying positive, only by staying true to yourself, only by staying truly energized and having the source of your own empowerment, your own energy, your own sense of fun and connection to the planet, will you ever enjoy your life more. And let's face it, folks, there's enough serious out there. We need to have a bit of fun as well. We've got to have fun. If we can't laugh at ourselves, then probably in the wrong place. You're probably not reading the script, folks, and that has been part of the journey all the way through, which is right back to the lunatic asylum, my Jedi friends. So, however way you're feeling, wherever you're at, know that you have control of your own thoughts, your own energy, and your own mind. And whatever happens in the world, nobody can take that away from you. And that's where it's at, folks. Working out how your own energy works, how to influence it, and how to feel better regardless what is going on around you. And if you can do that, then you are bulletproof, my Jedi friends. And if you want more insights, hints, or tips of exactly how to do that, then do like and subscribe to the channel. If you want another piece of the jigsaw, it is just there. But either way, go out and have fun, enjoy the lunacy to the best of your capability, and do what you can do to feel better.